the running joke is, did he do it? Did Diddy do it? What are your thoughts on the situation? You feel like it's something it's like a...
I've been around Diddy a lot. You know, when I signed a Violator, they had me in the studio with Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
They had me with DJ Scratch did over Fire record, man. We was in there getting ready to do over the doom 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 and Cool G rap joint. You know, it didn't happen that night. He showed up late, but basically, I've been around this dude a lot, but I don't know what he does or what he doesn't do, bro. You know what I'm saying? All I know is that
you never party with Diddy?
I've been around parties with Diddy, yeah, and
what are the parties like?
I mean, you know, he's always standing up on top of something, drinking something, being loud. You know, the life of the party, all that other stuff. I don't know what goes on after the party. I don't know what his preference is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know any of that stuff. You know what I mean? All I know is that it seems like what I said before. It seems like hip hop as an organism is cleansing itself.
So you've never seen the side of him that everybody's like,
Nah, I've never seen that side of him. All I've seen was just the outgoing, you know, partying, you know, Puffy or whatever the case is. Look, man, I got history with this guy, man. Basically did an interview with Source Magazine, my first interview, and they asked me, they said, yo, you're supposed to be on the Violator album with Puffy. How come that didn't happen? All I did was make a joke. I said, nah, you know, we never did it because we don't really have much in common except for our teeth. Talking about, you know, my little, and they wrote that. And when Puffy seen that, he went berserk. Called Chris Lighty, bugging out. Yo, I remember we didn't have phones and all that, so I wrote him an apology. Chris said, you got to write him an apology. I wrote the apology. Sorry, I was just joking around, whatever the case, and gave it to him, whatever the case. You know, but, you know, beyond that, I mean, I've been to his crib and all that shit with James Cruz, you know. Puffy treated my cousin Johnny Boy great. It was my cousin Johnny Boy's birthday. His first time he met him, he spent like 10-something grand on him or whatever. So, I mean, look, another thing is that when Puffy got upset about that teeth comment I made, he went and found some corny ass, I forgot the kid's name, some supposed Italian rapper or whatever. He went on Hot 97 the day after, straight disrespecting, like, without saying my name, like, this is the Italian rapper. And there's no such thing as a fucking Italian rapper. I don't know what people are talking about. This is the Italian rapper, this and that, blah, blah, this and that. So it got like that at one point. Yeah, so he kind of like, I felt it like he was, you know, dead in the relationship. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
I know this is a heavier topic for you, but I wanted to ask about your relationship with Chris Lighty. Like, what was that like?
Relationship with Chris Lighty was amazing, man. I ain't never met nobody like that in my life. To me, he's the illest that ever do it. Ever. You know? When brothers weren't getting their worth in the game, he figured out where to get it elsewhere. Nobody else did that. So wait, hold on. So Busta just sold this many records. We here to renegotiate like we supposed to. And you telling me you ain't gonna give me the money you supposed to give me from Busta?
Mm-hmm.
All right. They go to Mountain Dew. Get the money times 2. And then go back to where they were supposed to get the money and get that money times 10 because the Mountain Dew shit blew up. You know what I mean? So Chris was a genius. I didn't listen. I couldn't even see half of the things he was trying to tell me. I look back, honestly, bro. Honestly, I love it a lot. Be patient. Be cool. He used to call me sensitive thug because I used to get, you know, all that other type of stuff. You know, be patient. Be cool. You know, wait out. You know, wait your turn. The last thing Chris said to me before he died was when he brought 50 Cent out to Staten Island. I got them that location to perform in my neighborhood. They didn't want to perform wherever Wu-Tang would be at or any of that other stuff. So they came out to my neighborhood. And, of course, they were met with racism. And the police, yeah, the owner was the N-word and all that. I didn't want this and all that other shit. And the police pulled up, the hip-hop police and all that. I can get into this. One of the original 8 hip-hop police detective, the original, the one that put the cuffs on Wayne and all, next door neighbor to me. I know all sorts of stuff. Anyway, they came through. Yeah. Come on, bro. So, you know, they came through and they did what they did. And when they left, Chris came to me and said, Joe, I love you. I know things didn't work out. I know you didn't mean you didn't mean like you never disrespect me like that. That thing that you put together wasn't that good. But Joe, I can't revisit it because that was a headache. I lost a lot of money on that. We spent like $800 something thousand. You know what I mean? But he told me something that stuck with me and it will never leave me. You know, he said, everybody gets a turn. You know what I mean? He said, you are far too talented. They're out here calling you legend and all this. You didn't even put nothing out. You're gonna get your turn. Just don't miss it and be ready for it. And that's what he used to tell me. He also taught me, you know, the lesson, you know, in the beginning, he told me when you're hot, they answer the phone. When you're not, they don't. I felt that one later in life. You know, what else? It's a lot of stuff, man. I got so many Chris Lighty stories, man. They don't stop, bro. They don't stop. And they're all amazing. You know, LL Cool J used to call my studio and be like, Chris is in the studio with you? I used to be like, yeah. He'd be like, you're going to be the biggest rapper in the whole world. He don't go to the studio with nobody. Was he in the studio with you all the time? I said, yep. He's just always sitting over there. Yeah, and he was. That made me proud. I just didn't realize a lot of the stuff that was going on. Man, I was caught up in the matrix, bro. I was young. I was cocky. I was impatient.
So
You know, brothers like Wiggs, the one that brought Shaoliiin and all
yeah.
that stuff, you know, he told me in the middle of a wild night that was amazing. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, none of this is real. And I keep hearing that in my head because that night I was the man. I mean, I was with everybody, you know, and it was like that for almost 4 years in a row.
Mm.
You know, I'm fucking with Prodigy and Mobb Deep. I'm fucking with Conan Noriega. I'm with Mona Scott and Missy Elliott and watching her buy Trina Gibbs and all this other stuff. I'm doing this and LL Cool J and all this other, all the great stuff.
So then, how did this? So how?
Loud Records folded. Steve Rifkin, you know, just
Mhm.
couldn't wait to tell me that my album wasn't coming out. He
Mhm.
asked me to come up there, and it's almost like they were like, I don't even know, man. It's almost like they were happy to tell me. You know what I mean? And I was like, I went back to Chris and I said, yo, and Chris said, you weren't supposed to know that. You're not supposed to know this. Don't worry about all this stuff. You know, and he said, Joe, give me the record. I'm going to go, we're going to break this record. I said, all right, cool. Gave Chris a record. And then next thing you know, one of his artists, Timbaland, Missy and all them,
Yeah.
they needed something done. And that something was Bubba Sparks. So next thing you know, there's Bubba Sparks posters all over the Violator office. For me, Jay-Z telling me every other day, come with me. Eminem and Paul Rosenberg are telling me go with them. I should have stuck and hung out. I don't live with regrets, but I didn't listen. You know what I mean? I fought my way out. Chris wouldn't even allow that to happen. He said, just hang tight, sensitive Doug, ha 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 ha. And then until I went into the studio and I made, you know, little comment, little things in the record or whatever, he said, you want to go? I said, yeah. He said, all right. I'll never forget. He took me to the bank and gave me extra money and all that, like he almost knew. He walked me to the bank, went into his account, took money out, gave it to me and said, good luck. And I said, all right. You know, went back to Jay-Z. Jay-Z told me, oh, nah, now I'm doing this, Joe. It's just bad time. And I said, oh, all right, I see what happened. Went back to Paul Rosenberg. Paul said, nah, Joe, them funds have been allocated for. I said, Paul, you offered me a deal. You told me to get out of the Chris situation. I got out of it. What do you think it takes, a week to get out of that?
Yeah.
It took me 6 months. I just got out yesterday. I'm in your office today. He had a little smirk on, too, when he told me that. It was like people were proud to watch me fall out. Because I don't care what anybody says, bro. I was a problem for all these people, man.
You feel
I
like
know.
you feel like you got blackballed?
Nah, I don't. I feel like people let me be my own worst enemy without stopping me. I did that. Nobody else did that. I did it. Nobody blackballed me. Chris answered the phone for me every single time I called. Even when shit was not good, he picked up the phone. Always had me in the office. Always broke bread with artists that were around him. All that. Everything was great. But they got out of the way. And they let me do myself dirty. Yeah. And of course, you know, when someone says something, you know, you kind of take their word for it. You know, these guys are offering me a deal, all this other shit. All right, I'm going to go for it. You know what I mean?
You
And
didn't feel like you was being too hard-headed to help?
it's not that I was being too hard-headed. It's just like I wanted to know things that I didn't need to know. You know, I had an Italian publicist named Gabe Ciciciero. Gabe's the biggest now in the whole game. You know, Rihanna, Beyonce, all that. Gabe went nuts when he saw me. You know, he said, "Oh my God," and he went crazy. And Chris used to come to me and hold up the sauce and say, why are you in this thing? I didn't put you there. Why are you in double XL? I didn't do that. Why are you doing this and that? I didn't do that. What the fuck is going on? And it was Gabe. Gabe went nuts. Shout out Gabe, man. Gabe is unreachable. He doesn't do phone numbers, social media, none of that shit. Gabe, I need you more than ever. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah.